What's going on, champs and chambits? It's FireMonkey here, and today we're kind of just grinding for the sake of grinding. I know that sounds a little weird, but we have Rust Mint 24/7, which only has Rust in shipment this time around. They removed Meat from the playlist, thank God. As you guys know, I do not like that map. But what is today's video topic about? What was with the crappy thumbnail? Well, it all relates to weapons, and now that I've actually unlocked Interstellar Camo, as you can see right here, we have Gilded, Forged, Priceless, and Interstellar. I have been working on a slight extra grind that's completely pointless to me because I don't really care too much about what I'm getting out of it, but I still want to do it just for the sake of doing it and giving me something to kind of do in this game right now before I go ahead and do some other stuff with my free time. And as you can see right here, the whole entire grind is related to getting 100 eliminations with Gilded Camo, 200 kills with a Forge, 300 with Priceless, and then 400 with Interstellar in order to get 4 different calling cards, emblems, and 1 little charm. And once you collect all of the charms, you actually manage to get like a completionist type of charm or whatever else. But I've just been kind of doing it because it gives me something to do, and to be completely honest here, even though the charms are kind of pointless, I mean, especially right there, you can't really even see what it is something that gives me, you know, a little bit of fun. It gives me something to focus on, right? Because it's like, hey, I'm not just forced to use this, or I guess I'm not free to use the same weapon I want 24/7. I could if I wanted to, but at the same time, this gives me something extra to grind for that makes me want to switch it up, that makes me want to go through all the SMGs, all the shotguns, LMGs, and everything else, instead of just finding my comfort weapon and sitting there with it. But of course, I thought I'd just make a little bit of a rambly video while I played some Rust Mint 24/7 hardcore mode and just talked about stuff. Now, you know, I'm not really going to commentate on the gameplay too much here. We're, of course, going to be playing and everything else, you know, like you typically do. As you can see, the little charm is a little easier to actually see in-game, but I do kind of want to talk about something I've noticed with this channel. Of course, this is kind of like my personal diary in a way type of channel, right? I upload whatever it is I want to talk about, right? I don't care if I'm doing good at a game, if I'm doing bad at a game, if one day I want to do a Let's Play or something along those lines. I just kind of upload things, right? And something I noticed, and something that kind of discourages me sometimes, or at least used to in the past, was seeing a drop in subscribers on this channel. Right? You know, seeing people subscribe for one type of content, and then, you know, they start seeing me fill up their feed with whatever my special fixation on the time is, and they're like, that's not the type of content I subscribed for, and then all of a sudden, you know, the subscribers actually drop. I think in the past, like, 28, 30 days or something, I've lost around, like, 32 subscribers or whatever else, but, you know, as I've continued making content on this platform, and as I've continued doing the type of stuff I do, I've stopped really caring too much about that stuff, at least on this channel, right? You know, it's a little bit more panicky if it's on the FireMonkey channel, you know, the Fortnite channel, because that's the place where I typically upload all my content that gets a decent amount of viewership and everything else. But this channel has always just kind of been for me to make content because I love making content, right? It's been for me to just kind of talk and ramble on while playing whatever it is I want to play, right? And, you know, it's like sometimes, you know, I'm like, maybe this wouldn't work on this channel, maybe it would. But as you guys have seen recently, I've kind of had whole entire videos dedicated to playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, even though the thumbnails aren't the prettiest or whatever else. And the whole entire reason for that is because I'm not trying to put this channel in the light where it gets like 1 million views, it's going to have 1 trillion subscribers or whatever else. I'm making the channel from the light, I'm sorry, teammate, but I'm making the channel from the light of, hey, you know, I just kind of want to upload some stuff, I want to have some fun, and if I'm grinding on something, you know, I have stuff to ramble on about in the back of my head or whatever, I'm just going to start rambling on about whatever's in the back of my head while continuing the grind for all of the little goodies here and there. And that's just kind of how I roll with this channel, right? And, you know, I understand some people are like, oh, FireMonkey, your channel doo-doo sauce, you should just make a new one if you want to do this type of content. But at the same time, it's like, this channel has been around through so many evolutions. I used to do Minecraft Let's Plays on this channel, and like, I've tried unprivating all my old videos before. I am sorry once again, teammate, I headshotted the guy with headshot in his name, but I've tried unprivating those old videos to allow you guys to watch them whenever you wanted to, but there is some weird odd issues going on with it, where especially for live streams, even though they'll have the original video date of like 4 or 5 months ago, 3 years ago, whatever else, it acts like that stream was just published today. So it will spam everyone's subscription feed to the point where when they're looking, you know, they're going to have their normal videos or whatever else, but majority of it's going to just be every single one of my old live streams and privated videos that I unprivated just showing up out of order, because technically you weren't able to see those before, but because of how YouTube's system is coded, you are able to see them, you know, they're publicated again and everything else, and they've been privated so long that YouTube treats it like an old video, even though it has the old upload date. So it's a little bit of like an odd situation, you know. It's something that I can't really control too much, and it's something that kind of sucks. So I have like a playlist on my channel, or maybe I don't, maybe I got rid of it at some point, that has the entire purpose of just being a way for you to watch that older content. And it is, you know, a situation where I'm like, well, you know, can't have everything in the world, can't have the giant old upload backlog, but at least, you know, I can kind of confirm that, you know, as I've continued to do YouTube over the years and everything, as I've continued just kind of play these games and just upload videos, I've always treated this channel as something where it's not supposed to make me money. It's supposed to just be here for me to go ahead and play some games, have some fun, and ramble on whatever I want to ramble on about. If people like the video, they like the video. If they don't like the video, they don't like the video, right? It doesn't affect me too much at the end of the day. You know, it's just like, hey, you know, another day I can go on and continue rambling on about stuff, speaking into the void, and the void sometimes decides to speak back to me. And like, I've used to like upload videos on this channel talking about like drama before and stuff. You know, I made videos about like the Call Me Carson situation and stuff like that before, but that isn't really the focus here, right? I'm not, because I'm like, if I wanted to, I could totally make videos about drama. I would get a lot of views from that because people love drama. But I don't care too much about drama. I am like a boomer at this point where I just want to sit down, play my video games, and yell at the kids to get off my lawn. And that is kind of how I go about stuff, right? Just sitting down and rambling on about life. But yeah, you know, I've noticed some people here and there not enjoying this type of content. I've noticed people unsubscribing, all the type of stuff. And, you know, I'm not mad at anyone, right? It's just kind of how the way life goes, especially with this type of channel where no two videos are going to be the same. There's no specific upload schedule or design or anything else, except for like recently, ever since 2024 started, I've been doing every other day and sticking at it consistently. So I'm curious if I can keep that up, especially when I'm like in Japan and everything. I wonder if I will be able to do the every other day stuff. But you know, it is a little interesting seeing how this channel changes and evolves over time and just kind of sits around here and exists around my whole entire fixations and everything. And who knows what's going to be the next type of content on the channel, right? Because I mean, if you look at other YouTubers, there's been a lot of YouTubers I've watched growing up who originally made content where they did like, you know, creepypasta readings, or maybe they even made content where they focused on just playing video games, and as time evolved, their content evolved. And even though their content evolved, for the most part, most of the content creators I still watch to this day because I enjoy their content. You know, I want to keep consuming the good stuff they make because it's good at the end of the day, and regardless, as long as I give myself something to feast my eyes on that I can actually watch for a few hours, I'm a happy boy, right? It doesn't have to be the best content in the world, it just has to be content that I can distract myself with, right? And you know, that is something that I've kind of noticed about myself, is like, especially even though I have the Fortnite channel, the Fortnite Twitter and everything that has millions of subscribers, followers, all that type of stuff, I still don't really go at this stuff from like the aspect of, oh, you know, I gotta min-max my views, I gotta have the best thumbnail in the world, the best topics 24/7 or anything else. I just kind of wing it. I just make content because I'm like, you know what, this is a cool video idea, I'll ramble about this for a few hours. Some of the videos I'm like, oh, this will do really well, let me go ahead and talk about this topic first. But some of the videos I'm like, you know what, I don't think this will do well, but I still kind of just want to record it because I'm interested in the topic or something, so I'm going to record it anyways, right? And you think you wouldn't do that on a channel which is like, you know, where you make most of your money or whatever else, but I just kind of do it because I'm like, you know, even though it's my business or whatever, even though it's the channel I got successful on, at the same time, I'm just me. I'm FireMonkey, right? And like, I'm doing stuff the way I do it. And I remember I used to get lectured by like YouTubers and stuff, especially some of like the clickbait YouTubers out there. They're like, yeah, you know, I clickbait and it's the easy way, but you can make it without clickbaiting. You know, it's harder, but it's possible. And when I heard that, I was like, so why don't I just make it without clickbaiting? And I mean, like, so far, mostly, you know, I've been able to do that. You know, sometimes I look at a video and I'm like, maybe I can make this thumbnail a little bit more clickable, whatever else. But it's not something where I sit there and I'm like, oh, I need to have misleading thumbnails. I need to make it super shiny, pizzazzy, or whatever else. I mean, you look at this channel, I literally just went into my menu, looked at the weapon I was grinding the calling cards out for right now, and I just zoomed it in and slapped it on, right? I did a little bit of editing editing on the edges so that, you know, the previous, like, I think it was, what is it, the priceless camo border wasn't actually showing up in the thumbnail. But for the most part, I just kind of slapped it together in a minute, right? I didn't try making the best thumbnail out there. And like, I get some emails time and time again where they're like, hey, you know, you want to hire me to edit your videos, you want to hire me to do your thumbnails or whatever for you. And I don't really respond to those because, like, especially with my type of upload schedule, I just kind of, you know, when I make a video, that is when I upload the video. Like, you're seeing this video maybe an hour or two after I made it. You know, sometimes, especially if I have to prepare things in advance and I know I have to, maybe I'll record videos, you know, a day or two early. But for the most part, you know, I just make the video as I make it, and then it's uploaded on YouTube at the practically exact same time. And that's just kind of how I've always gone about it. So it's like, you know, there's no way I could hire a thumbnail artist or an editor or whatever else to do that type of stuff, right? But I do have some type of content that is more of like the higher edited things I want to do, and those are things that could show up on this channel later down the line that end up having, you know, thumbnails custom made for it and everything, you know, an editor hired to edit the videos down and turn it into different types of content or whatever else. But those are going to be one-off type of things, right? You're not going to see those 24/7, and, you know, I'm going to feel sorry for the people who subscribe to this channel expecting that type of content, because that's not what they're going to be seeing that often, right? You know, it's just going to be something that I try here and there, see how it, you know, how my audience interacts with it, and if they enjoy it, and potentially even evolve it later down the line to make it even better and more fulfilling for you guys. Like, for example, when I have the Japan trip, I'm recording footage. I'm going to make videos out of that, but I know that that is a completely left field type of thing for this channel because I'm not a Japan content creator. You know, I'm not someone who typically makes content where it's travel vlogs. I mean, if you pay attention to what I do, you pay attention to the fact that I'm chubby, I sit in my room all day and play video games and eat food. That is what I do, right? So going to Japan, recording videos and stuff, that is not the norm for this channel. That is not something that I expect to blow up. If it does, you know, get a decent amount of viewership or whatever else, that's cool, but it's not like I can hightail it back to Japan every week and make more content there. It is kind of something that exists and, you know, shows my personality a little bit more in some ways, and that's kind of what this channel's purpose is, right? It's not to grow an audience based on a specific game or content or whatever else. Sure, you know, I'll have a game I talk about a lot for certain periods of time, such as Call of Duty, but it's a channel dedicated to kind of growing an audience of people who just want to hear me do stuff, right? They don't care what it is I'm doing. They just want to see me, you know, the little meet and greet, right? And, you know, the thing I kind of think of when I make this channel, right? The perfect genre I put myself into with this is not a channel where you go to find a certain topic, right? It's a channel you go to as if like you were treating it like a friend. Like if you were just kind of sitting there talking to someone on Discord while they're playing a game, you're playing your own game or doing whatever else, and you're just kind of coexisting. So it's not something where I'm trying to make it perfect, I'm trying to make it polished or whatever else. I'm trying to make it as genuine as possible. I mean, that's kind of, you know, not even like a trying, it's just me being me, because I feel that the type of content that I would enjoy and the type of content that I'm chill at seeing on YouTube is the type of content, you know, have a few edits here or there. You know, it's not going to be anything that's completely unedited, but at the same time, it's something you can just kind of pop on and listen to as if you were just kind of sitting there with a homie just chatting about whatever else. Now, of course, it's more one-sided. I can't be like, hey, should we arrest Swiper? Should Swiper be swiping? Yes or no? I can't do that. You know, there's not really that interaction part of it. But the whole entire point is just to kind of ramble on and, you know, give you something to listen to, right? You know, it doesn't have to be related to a specific topic, because I mean, you don't be with you, I assume for the most part at least, you're not with your friends because, oh, they play a certain game or they only talk about a certain thing. Everyone has random topics they find and talk about, right? I mean, when I'm with my friends, sometimes one thing I do is I literally will pull up Google News on my phone, scroll through stuff, find a random like news article or something, just be like, oh, that's interesting, and then we have a little discussion, right? And that's kind of what this channel is. So, you know, regarding the whole entire grind and everything, this is just kind of the grind we're going down, and I don't even know how to title or thumbnail the video. Maybe I'll have to redo that actually, since the video topic's now just kind of about what this channel is. But it is something where I'm always just kind of sitting here and I'm like, you know, people can hate on the channel, they can dislike it or whatever else, but it's not made to be this corporate entity. It's not made to be a highly advertisable thing. It's made for me to just kind of talk about what I want to talk about. Sometimes there's cool opportunities here and there. You know, occasionally there might be a sponsor video or something. I know, like, you know, I've done videos before that had sponsors attached to them, but that isn't because of me trying to be this corporate entity. It's because, hey, they're offering me a little bit of money and I like the product, so, you know, maybe I'll go ahead and make a video on it or something, right? You know, maybe I'll I'll go ahead and do a little ad read or something for them. But you got to keep in mind, I'm not just shilling out for every company out there, because there have been a lot of times, especially with like NFT projects, they'll message me, be like, hey, FireMonkey, we want to go ahead and sponsor you. Come on, we'll give you $2,500 if you advertise our NFT project. And don't get me wrong, $2,500, that's a lot of money. I would be chilling with that, right? I would be happy with 2.5K, but at the same time, I don't want to sell out my identity for some NFT project that I literally don't care or agree with at all, just because they're offering me that amount of money, right? You know, I try to keep it towards things that I believe aren't going to scam my audience or whatever else. So yeah, with that said, I just kind of enjoy the grind of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, and I enjoy just kind of rambling on, making videos about absolutely whatever I want to make here, and regardless of follower gain, lost, streams, how often I do them, how little I do them, or anything in between, I am going to stay on this channel, right? It's going to exist for the foreseeable future, whatever else. Even if one day I take a break from doing Fortnite leaks or whatnot, I'll still upload every once in a while on here, just rambling on about stuff, talking with you guys, and just kind of chilling, having a fun time, doing whatever it is I want to do. With that said, however, I know I don't always read the comments, even though I always do like these comment question of the day things, and you know, that's just because people are beefing down there in the comments. I'm not really trying to see it, but sometimes I do look at it, even if I don't like your comments and replies and all the type of stuff. So regardless of how this channel's operated, regardless of how much you enjoy it, how little you enjoy it, or anything in between, regardless of if you unsubscribed when you saw this video on your feed, I appreciate you. Even if you stayed here for a limited amount of time, you know, a week, a month, a year, a few years before you unsubscribed, you still kind of affected how this channel grew, so I appreciate you for being there for this channel, you know, especially since it's kind of the side channel or whatever. You know, I call it my main one, but of course the FireMonkey stuff's my main stuff because of the fact that that has the most followers, whatever else, but I appreciate you just kind of being there to watch me do whatever it is that I do. So with that said, I'm going to enjoy Shipment and Rust 24/7 while it's available. I'm going to grind this till my brain just goes completely numb and I just start drooling all over the ground. And until next time, I'll catch you champs and champettes a little bit later with even more videos. Like the video if you liked it, dislike if you didn't like it, and peace out.